Epic here, back with another slasher guide, and today I'll be going over the Facade Slasher. Now, in order to get the Facade Slasher, you can just buy him in the shop for 5 skill points. His description is that he specializes in lies and deception, fast with heavy damage. Now you might be thinking, how's the slasher even fair if he is pretty fast and he does heavy damage? In my previous 2 guides, we saw that the murderer was fast with average damage, and the Nightfall was fast with lower damage. Well, the reason that Facade needs heavy damage is because he's not really an ability slasher. An ability slasher would be someone like Nightfall, where they would get all of their damage from their abilities. But for Facade, you'll mainly get your damage from attacking people with your basic attack. His abilities are only used to help him. His first ability is called Disguise, which transforms your appearance into a survivor. While you're disguised, you cannot attack while transformed. Now, I see a lot of people using this ability incorrectly, because what they'll do is that they'll disguise at the beginning of the round, but then they'll make it look pretty obvious that they're the slasher, because they'll be the only one coming from the north direction. So when someone is the Facade, you have to be able to play it cool. You don't want to look pretty obvious that you're the slasher. So maybe you don't want to be following someone suspiciously so that they'll suspect that you're a slasher. Because as the Facade, there are going to be people in the game who know that you're the Facade after like the first minute or so. So you're going to have to use those first minutes effectively. The second ability is called Detect, which reveals the location of the closest survivor. Now, if you watch my Nightfall guide, Nightfall has this ability that reveals the location of all survivors. So you might be thinking that this Detect ability is just a worse version than that. And yes, you're right, it actually is a worse version than the Nightfall ability. But you have to remember that while Nightfall is an ability-based slasher, Facade is not. Even though Detect might be a worse ability than what Nightfall has, it's still pretty powerful because, like I say, any ability that reveals who is closest to you is pretty powerful. You can still use this ability to see who is closest to reaching someone you just knocked down. So I would say that this ability is still up there with the Nightfall tracking ability. We have our ultimate ability, which is called Trap. It creates a fake down survivor, and it will explode and do critical damage when real survivors get close. Now, this is the ability that you would focus on if you really want to play Facade, and this is what makes Facades really fun. With this Trap ability, you can pretty much plant a fake body wherever you want, and if someone walks into it, they're pretty much going to die unless they're a tank class. Now, there's 2 ways that you can use this ability. The first way is you can plant it on someone else's body to prevent other people from going to revive this person. Now, I always notice people doing this, but this is not what I like to do because I feel like anyone who is a smart survivor should know that if there are 2 bodies on top of each other, it's probably the Facade. The other way I see this ability being used is just planting it down in a random location. I feel like this is more effective because it looks more realistic when there's a down survivor in a random distance rather than on top of another body. And I feel like you can actually get way more kills by doing that rather than camping someone else's body with your own dead body. Finally, our passive is Survivor heartbeats do not increase when you get near. This is a very strong passive, especially because you have the Disguise ability. If you had this Disguise ability and the heartbeats of the survivors did increase, then this ability would be absolutely useless. But thanks to the passive, the Disguise ability is actually useful. Even if you aren't disguised, this passive ability is very strong because if you aren't in your disguise, then people are still not going to know when you're near. So you could get close enough without having to use stamina so that when they do notice you, they'll run out of stamina way before you do. So our first ability only has a cooldown of 5 seconds, which makes sense because it's just a disguise ability. There shouldn't really be a cooldown on this ability. Our second ability is cooldown is 30 seconds. So every 30 seconds you can see who the closest person is near you, which is very good. And finally, the duration of the body lasts for 45 seconds and the cooldown is 15 seconds. Honestly, for the body, the cooldown does not feel like 15 seconds. To me, it kind of feels like more like 20 or 30 seconds. But nonetheless, it's very, very strong thanks to this short cooldown. You can continue planting bodies across the map and that'll confuse a lot of people. That's why Facade is known as the slasher with lies and deception. Additionally, the body does 150 damage. Like I said, that will pretty much instant shot any class except for like the tank. So the Facade has 18 speed, which is faster than a lot of the slashers. Its damage is a whopping 35.7, which is pretty strong, but the attack speed is only 0.7. So you're going to be swinging slower, so you have to make sure that your attacks count. Now it's time for the gameplay video, and in this video I'll show you how to use your bodies effectively in order to trick all of the survivors and have a very strong chance at winning as the Facade. Now in this video you also need to realize that I'm mainly going to be attacking people with my basic attack. As I said, all your abilities are just there to help you. This is not like Nightfall, where the abilities will be what you need to be using to win. As a Facade, yes, your abilities are obviously helpful, but it is not necessary for you to win. I'll see you guys there. Okay, so here we are with our Facade gameplay, and this game is about to get very interesting. So we can see how the dead bodies are actually pretty effective if you know where to place them. So the first thing I do is that I'm about to activate my disguise, and I'm disguised as a tank. So it doesn't really matter when you use this ability, I just use that to start, just in case somehow someone were to come in my direction. So I'm walking towards the survivors, and I know that I have to try and not look suspicious. So luckily I see that there's a generator right here, and I decide to just wait here at the generator and act as if I'm a survivor. As I wait here, I don't see that anyone's coming, so I use my detect ability to make sure that no one's coming, and then I jump in. So no one is around me, so if I go up to someone, they're going to suspect that I'm a survivor. I still see that no one's around. And right here, I decide to plant a body because there was no one there, hoping that someone's going to walk into it. So I hear that one generator was already activated, so I know that I have to hurry up. So first I'm trying to kill this batter guy. I'm able to get 3 hits off of him, so I know that he's pretty low health. As I'm chasing after him, he starts wearing out my stamina. But then I hear that sound over there means that someone activated my body and is dead over there. Additionally, I was able to kill that guy on the generator, and while this guy tries to revive him, I was still able to get a kill with my body over there. I'm chasing this guy who was activating the generator, and I know that he is a few hits off from death. So he's doing a good job stalling time, giving people another chance to revive the guy that I killed over there with my dead body. But all I care is getting this guy killed so that he doesn't have an opportunity to do the objective anymore. And as I kill him, I see that the other guy is getting revived, and unfortunately I'm not able to stop it. However, I know that I can still chase this guy, and if I kill him one more time, he'll be eliminated from the game. And there we go. So here, since no one is around, I'm just going to use my disguise again. And I plant another body. Hopefully someone runs into it again. And this time I'm able to stop the revive right here. And while the batter stuns me, I'm still going to go after this guy. And as you see there, another guy ran into my body, which is great. That's 2 kills already off of my trap ability, and that guy's dead also. So right now there's about 3 down people. One of them just bled out. And right now I'm pretty sure there's only 2 more survivors that are left alive. So here's where I do the other strategy of planting a body on top of another body. And I don't really think that's a good thing to do because it makes it pretty obvious, and it's only good if the survivor is about to die. So I see this guy right here. I thought he was AFK, but for some reason he just starts moving now that he sees me, and he's unable to react at all. So I know that there's one less survivor left. So I don't even have to use my abilities, but I just use my disguise for fun. I plant another body for fun. And I'm walking towards this last guy. I don't know exactly where he is, so I use my detect ability, and I see that this guy is randomly hiding at spawn. So I kill him. For some reason he's AFK, and that's great for me. So at this point, I forgot that there's a paramedic that was self-revived, so I still have one person to deal with. So I disguise as the last person. This doesn't matter because the survivor should know that he's about to be the last person alive. And luckily, detect is a pretty fast cooldown, so I just use it again to try and find the last person. And I think I should mention that detect does not detect people that are dead, which is good, because Nightfall usually detects people that are dead as well. So there we go. I killed the last person, planted a body for fun, and that's how you basically play Facade. You're playing with dead bodies, and it's pretty effective. I was able to get 2 kills just with my dead bodies alone, and the rest of the time I was able to kill everyone else. So this slasher is very good, especially if you're dealing with people who don't know how to play against the Facade, or people who aren't communicating with each other. I hope you liked this video, and I hope to see you in the next guide. See ya.